Should these wrestlers use these AI-generated finishing move combinations? Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Burning Hammer boys are in the building. And in this one, Dylan, I asked AI to generate some finishing move combinations for some tag team wrestlers out here. So there was some newer tag teams here that have been formed, and I asked them to use these wrestlers' signature moves, and let's give them a nice tag team finishing move here. So as we start off every AI video, how do you feel about AI's ability to create cool moves for these two wrestlers to do?
Okay, this one I am not confident in.
Okay.
I'm not confident, but I've been saying this a lot, and it's proven me wrong a couple times. But this one, I'm not sure how confident I feel in AI's abilities to properly choreograph a wrestling match.
All right. Wow. So, without further ado, let's dive into this first one, Dylan.
Let's do it.
So, it is no secret now that Seth Rollins' faction got a new member in Big Bronson Reed. So that got me thinking, what if Big Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker teamed up, as we talked about on the podcast 2 weeks ago? What if they did some tag team wrestling, Dylan? What would their finishing move combination be? Well, I'll tell you. That move, Dylan, is going to be the Seismic Shockwave. That's going to be their combination finishing move. So, we've got the setup. This is going to be Bron Breakker. The sequence initiates with Bron Breakker showcasing his explosive power. He hoists an opponent up into a military press position, holding them precariously aloft. That is the setup, Bron Breakker. And then you've got the impact. As Breakker holds the opponent, the colossal Bronson Reed ascends to the top rope. Timing is crucial. And then you have the collision and crash, which is both Breakker and Reed. Just as Reed prepares to launch, Breakker will transition the military press into a devastating power slam. Simultaneously, Reed will leap from the top rope, connecting with his signature tsunami splash onto the already downed opponent at the precise moment of Breakker's power slam impact. Dylan, Seismic Shockwave. Should they do this? Is this any good?
Not terrible. Terrible name.
Tsunami.
Not a good name at all. I immediately bursted out laughing at the Seismic Shockwave.
Such an AI name.
Yeah, not terrible. Not a terrible combination of move. I like the idea of I don't know how perfect it would be set up, but Breakker does a Frankensteiner to set the guy up. The guy Breakker runs up, does a Frankensteiner in the corner that Bronson's in, right? Does the Frankensteiner, guy comes out, he tags Bronson climbs up. Tsunami. Frankensteiner followed by Tsunami, I think would be a nice little combo, even though it's not a necessarily teamwork situation. Kind of get what I'm feeling?
I mean, it kind of is. I would argue it's teamwork.
But I don't hate the AI idea. Don't hate.
All right. Let's move on to this next one,
Dylan.
Name,
though. Hate the name.
Yeah. So, man, because we've got some names here. Let's move on to this next one, Dylan, because we've got a newer team in Carmelo Hayes and The Miz, who I don't believe they've actually done any tag team action yet, if I could be mistaken. But their move, Dylan, is going to be the red carpet crash. So the elevation and the setup is going to be Carmelo Hayes. The sequence begins with Carmelo Hayes showcasing his agility and striking ability. Hayes will hit a springboard clothesline or a sharp pop-up forearm smash. This initial impact is designed to daze the opponent and send them stumbling backward, slightly elevated or off balance, directly towards The Miz. The interception and lock, that is going to be The Miz's role. As the opponent reels from Hayes' attack, The Miz, ever the master of timing and positioning, expertly catches or guides the staggered opponent. He swiftly locks in the full Nelson, preparing him for his patented skull-crushing finale, the Encore and Impact, which is both men. This is where the crash happens, with The Miz holding the opponent securely in the full Nelson and beginning the motion of the skull-crushing finale. Carmelo Hayes executes a rapid springboard diving double knee face breaker from the ropes. Hayes aims for his knees at the opponent's face or upper chest. Dylan, red carpet crash.
I just can't picture this working out good.
Okay.
The skull-crushing finale goes forward.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is he going to fall forward while also getting kneed in the face?
I think it's going to be... that's where timing's crucial. I don't even... I think...
It would be better if it was to the back of the head.
I think it is like a code breaker. Not like knee strikes to the face, but like Melo jumps off, takes a back bump, code breaker. As Miz skull crushing finale, they go in the same direction. I don't hate that, Dylan.
I don't hate
very difficult.
Yeah, I just can't imagine it like looking clean.
I think it could look clean.
I just think it's like too clunky. Like, I think the idea of like Miz having someone in a full Nelson puts them in a weird position to where like
it would take practice. They would
for sure.
This is a tough one.
I think there's some better stuff.
Okay.
I think like maybe some other stuff the Miz does.
The yes kicks.
Does do the yes kicks.
Does he do a submission?
Yeah, he does the figure 4.
So does everybody.
Yeah, and a sharpshooter sometimes. He also does a nice spike DDT. That's definitely a part of his move set. So I think I'm not as big of a fan as of like forcing two finishers together. Like I'd rather just like take one of their finishers and combine it with like another move that works, that has better cohesion. Does that make sense?
What if they did I think it's called Nothing But Net, but Melo's leg drop?
Yeah.
Into the skull crushing finale?
I think it's interesting. I like the idea of what AI said if it was more just like a springboard like knee to the back of the head.
Okay. Interesting. So, what do you think about the name though? The red carpet crash?
Nah. It's fine.
Yeah. I agree. All right.
It should be called the Melo Don't Miss.
Yeah. I agree. So, we have another new tag team here, Dylan, specifically for Money in the Bank. And that's a team of John Cena and Logan Paul. This move is called the Knockout Adjustment. The mechanics are Cena's setup and dominance. The sequence typically begins with John Cena overpowering the opponent, perhaps after a series of his signature shoulder tackles and the Proto Bomb. Cena showing his veteran ring awareness, then hoists the dazed opponent onto his shoulders into the familiar attitude adjustment position. He might hold them there for a moment, a display of his strength as Logan Paul gets into position. So Paul's opportunistic positioning. As Cena has the opponent ready for the AA, Logan Paul strategically positions himself. With his charismatic showsmanship, Paul might theoretically load up his fist or play to the crowd, signaling his intent to deliver his infamous one lucky punch. He needs to be perfectly placed for where the opponent's head will be upon impact. So then here comes the combined impact, Dylan. John Cena executes the attitude adjustment, driving the opponent towards the mat with immense force. In a display of incredible timing and precision, just as the opponent is in the final moments of the descent from the AA, a split second before their upper body / head would crash into the canvas, Logan Paul unleashes his devastating one lucky punch directly to the jaw or the temple of the falling opponent. The opponent is therefore hit by a double whammy, the full force of the AA slamming them into the mat, compounded by the immediate concussive impact of Paul's knockout blow. Dylan, the knockout adjustment, the AA into one lucky punch shot. How are we feeling about it?
I'm having trouble imagining this.
Okay.
Just like the way they're wording that, like, he'll punch them right before they hit the mat.
Yeah.
That's the part
That'll be
that's like
tough.
messing me up. Like, I think it would almost be better if, like, when they have their head up here, why not, like, as soon as he starts to flip them, that's when you hit him with it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Seems like I don't hate the, like, concept of it. I just think the way they explained it being delivered didn't make a ton of sense to me. But I don't hate it, and I think knockout adjustment works for the one time. I could honestly see them doing this on. I could honestly see them doing some form of this on.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that it would be a knockout punch to where it's like the punch and then he stumbles directly.
Punch sets up into
the
AA. All right. We got one more, Dylan, because we have another tag team on Money in the Bank. And that is Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. This move is called the People's Finale. The setup and initial impact will be done by Cody Rhodes. The sequence often begins after a flurry of offense that has the opponent reeling. Cody Rhodes, sensing the moment to finish the story, seizes the opponent and masterfully executes his signature crossroads. This spinning, rolling cutter plants the opponent face first, leaving them momentarily stunned and vulnerable on the mat. Now we have the ascent and the aerial assault, which will be Jey Uso. As Cody completes the crossroads and the opponent is driven into the canvas, main event Jey Uso, with his trademark explosive energy, is already scaling the turnbuckles. Timing is critical. Jey doesn't wait. He anticipates the impact of the crossroads. The decisive blow combined. The instant the opponent crashes down from the crossroads, Jey Uso launches himself from the top rope, shouting his iconic yeet. He delivers his breathtaking Uso splash directly onto the fallen opponent. The impact of the Uso splash occurs a mere moment after the crossroads, creating a devastating 1-2 combination that leaves absolutely no doubt about the outcome of the match. Dylan, the People's Finale, crossroads into the Uso splash.
Again, terrible name. No idea
Awful
where
name.
it even came from.
The Rock.
I guess, like, The Rock being kind of related to Jey Uso a little bit. Like, not even by blood. But this is more them just hitting their finishers back to back. But
yeah. Timing is crucial.
Timing is crucial, Mark. And
as all of these moves
and I
have
could
stated.
easily see this being the finish to the match on Saturday.
I could
Logan easily Paul. See a crossroads into a splash on Logan, like you said. Yeah. So terrible name. But I guess I can't hate the move itself that much because there's a pretty good chance it happens.
I would say there's a really good chance that this happens. All right, Dylan. That's going to wrap it up. How do you think AI did after getting all of these combinations of moves?
Not too bad. I think it's terrible with the names.
Sure.
I think it doesn't, and like I said, it doesn't quite, you can tell it doesn't quite fully understand, like, how a wrestling match works. Because, like, some of the stuff it's saying, you're just like, that doesn't even really make sense. Like, how can I even really do that?
Yeah.
Someone can't fall forward while getting punched in the face. Like, it's Yeah, it's just, but
Which one was your favorite?
probably the knockout adjustment.
Okay. We're going to have to clip this once they do that move.
Yeah.
They're totally going to do that. All right. You guys let us know in the comments which move was your favorite. And do you think either of these teams should actually do this? And make sure to smash that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. With that being said, I'm Marcus O. He's Dylan O'Brien. And we'll catch you in the next video.